In this episode, we're diving straight into talking about money, and I love talking about this topic, and I know it's either bringing up some emotions for you, whether they're good, they're bad, you're excited, you're like, oh gosh, what's she going to say today? And I know it's a topic that everyone loves to talk about, right? Money, 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 how to make more of it, how to become your higher self so you can manifest it into your life, how to quantum leap into making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars per year. I know, because I hear it too. And I'm about to teach you something about money that you can literally take away from this episode today, start incorporating it immediately to start feeling better about money, but not just that, to help you start creating a process for yourself to be more open to money coming into your life. Because most of you listening, and I'm talking about me too, we are blocking money out of our lives. And there is a reason for that. We're going to dive into that today. And maybe you might be in a place right now where whatever amount of money that you're calling in, because I know you have some money goals. If you're listening to this podcast, I know you have goals for yourself, including financial ones. And maybe the money goal that you have right now, because of course, as coaches, we all tell you to set big goals, stretch yourself, call it all in, right? You've heard it and you've set these big money goals, but maybe you're sitting in it right now and you're like, oh my gosh, this goal that I set for myself, this seems really big. This seems really hard. This seems almost impossible. And you're feeling so discouraged. And you're just not feeling good about this money goal that you've set for yourself. And in fact, you're now like, gosh, I'm not going to hit my goal. I'm a failure. And no matter if you're saying all the affirmations to yourself, no matter if you're journaling in your journal every day, hopefully it's the manuscripting journal and you're writing about your money and you're like, I am so happy and grateful that I have X amount of dollars in the bank, right? You're doing all the routines, the rituals, all the things, and it just doesn't seem to be shifting anything for you. I get it, because I know those goals right now, they may seem really far away. And I understand this because one, I totally go through these experiences still to this day. And after a decade of being an entrepreneur and being self-employed and never having a predictable paycheck, fun fact, I've never had a corporate job in my life. So I've never had a predictable paycheck to count on, which in this day and age, like I feel like nothing is predictable and you can't count on anything, right? And after starting and pivoting so many different businesses and making a lot of financial decisions that really didn't make a logical sense, but I did them anyway, I've always had stuff come up around money, right? There's always that stuff. Whether it's good stuff, bad stuff, uncomfortable stuff, growth stuff, there's so much stuff. Because money in our reality is a source of motivation, it's a source of pain, it's a source of trauma, it's a source of shame, it's a source of guilt, but it can also make us feel really happy and confident and secure. And oh my gosh, just every single emotion out there, you can attach it back to money. And it's something that we can't get away from. No matter how much work you do around money, you're gonna feel the feels eventually, right? And that's because money in our reality is our source of currency. You need it. You need to have money. If you are listening to the podcast, you need money because we use it as a way to exchange it for things that we need to survive, like food, shelter, clothing, comfort, all of that stuff. And where would you be if you didn't have money? Like if you're living in a first world country, right? Like you need money. And if you don't have it, you're either on the streets or you're really dependent on other people, which that doesn't feel good either. In order to call in more of it and in order to feel really good about it, there are certain laws and lessons and things you need to learn in order to be able to hold that space for it. Now, still to this day, I'll be honest with you, I still go through money issues. I still go through money mindset things. And they're not fun. They're not uncomfortable. But that's also because month after month, year after year of even doing this work for so long, I'm also evolving and growing. I'm making more money. I'm calling in more money. So with that comes new lessons because money at the end of the day is an energy. And when you learn how to hold this energy and how to allow this energy into your life, that's when the game changes. That's when having conversations with your money become really fun. And in order to manifest anything in our reality, we need to feel good, right? Because that's how you get more of that goodness. If you are living in scarcity and in fear and in shame and in guilt, right? What are you going to get more of? More of that. Money doesn't want to come into that. And I'm so excited to dive into these 5 tangible steps for you to literally start today, because I'm taking you back to what I did in my early 20s when I first awakened to like what money really is. Because let's face it, I don't know about you, and maybe in this day and age, it's different. Like if you're in your early 20s or maybe even late teens, if you're listening to this, it's a little bit different out there when it comes to money. You have more resources. You have Instagram, you have YouTube, you have TikTok, you have all these things. So many money coaches everywhere talking about it, right? But when I was growing up, and I'm in my mid-30s, so it's not like I'm that old, but when I was growing up, we didn't have this kind of stuff. And most likely, if you're around my age, your parents didn't teach you. We definitely, and still to this day, do not learn about anything financial in school like we should be. We are just kind of like thrown out there into the real world, and we just need to figure it out. So for me, what that looked like is I went to college, and I went to college away from my hometown. And right away, I was getting so many letters from credit card companies. And I'm like, oh, wow, pre-approved, thousands of dollars, sweet. Because at that point, being so young, I was still getting a little bit of money from my parents for school, right? I wasn't getting a job yet. So I was like, cool, free money right now? Yes, absolutely. So for me, what my financial path started off with was lots of credit cards. And then I got some jobs around campus. I was making some cash money. And I'm just feeling rich, and I'm spending it, and I'm racking up credit card bills. And when that bill came in and it only says like, oh, minimum payment $24 on like a $5,000 bill, I'm like, heck yeah, I don't have to pay this off yet. I have $24, perfect. Not knowing anything about how interest, how that all works, and how literally that credit card would have taken me like 100 years to pay off. Nothing, right? So it wasn't until my mid-20s when I'm now making good money, because right out of college, I started a few companies for myself, and I'm making good money. I've now been able to, purchase a luxury vehicle. I'm living in a really nice condo in a really nice area. And for some reason, my income and my savings is non-existent. I'm literally spending more and more and more as my income is increasing. I'm just spending more and more. I'm still got all this credit card debt that I'm just making minimum payments on. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So I had this like awakening moment where I'm like, shit, no one's going to teach me this. I have to figure it out on my own. So if you're listening to this podcast and maybe you're just getting started in your money stuff, or maybe you have your money shit together, I will teach you some stuff that I know you're going to be able to incorporate into your life today. And I'm so excited for you, because whether you're a beginner or an expert, you're going to have a takeaway from this. And I'm literally taking you back to what I did in the early stages of really trying to figure it out and giving you some tangible things. Because let's face it, you can try and manifest all the things in the world, right? But without taking action on those things, they're not going to happen. Writing down, I'm so happy and grateful that I have $1 million in my bank account. If you just write that down and sit on back, I promise you, Source is not going to drop $1 million into your lap. It's not how this reality works. It's not how energy works. If you haven't learned anything about the 12 universal laws, go check that out. There will be a podcast on that topic very, very soon. But there are laws, and I'm not talking about like government laws. I'm talking about laws of our reality that exist that you have to abide by. But we can't just dream of something, think of something, sit back and just wait for it to happen. It's just not going to. I'm going to give you 5 amazing, amazing, amazing tangible tips for you to either get started with your money. 2, maybe this is going to be a really, really good reflection episode to think about, oh, wait, I can incorporate this, or maybe you don't have to do that, or you're already doing it and you're excited that I'm sharing this. Are you a woman with dreams of unleashing your full potential, but you feel there is something holding you back? I want to introduce you to the Manuscripting Journal, the #1 selling manifestation and goal-setting journal designed exclusively for empowering women just like you to up-level and change your life. This journal is your personal guide to manifesting your dreams and unlocking your true potential. Inside its beautifully curated pages, you'll discover powerful daily journaling entries, workbooks, and exercises to set goals, plan your dreams, and manifest the life you deserve. It also offers an online community of like-minded women on the same path as you, which includes free masterclasses and support to help you during this transformation, so you are not alone. Say goodbye to overwhelm and hello to clarity. With the Manuscripting Journal, you'll develop a positive mindset, nurture self-love, and create a roadmap for success. Join the thousands of women who have already embraced the power of manifestation and changed their lives with the Manuscripting Journal. Take the first steps towards a life filled with purpose and joy. Visit manuscripting.com today and embark on a transformative journey by ordering the journal. And as a podcast subscriber, enjoy a special 20% discount on your first journal order at manuscripting.com by using the code podcast. Empower yourself and script your dreams into reality with the Manuscripting Journal, because you deserve to create and manifest a life that you're obsessed with. See show notes for details. The first one we're going to dive into is you have to do this first. Acknowledge your relationship with money. Now, if you cannot be honest with yourself about money, there is no way to get to the root issue of where it's all starting from and to heal this. I want to call it trauma, because it's trauma. Whether it's your trauma, whether it's generational trauma, it is there, okay? And you have to take radical responsibility for where you are. You cannot blame anyone else for your financial situation as much as we want to, because we love to do that in this reality too. We love to blame others and not take ownership, but you have to take radical responsibility right now and be like, yep, I spent that money. I did it, whether it was a smart choice, not choice, whatever. It's a lesson. It's fine. But just know that it's okay. And there's a way to get out of it. There's always a way to get out of it. And this is the first step to really changing your future with money and your income. What you want to do is just really acknowledge your relationship and be real with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, who the hell are you going to be honest with? If you're like, yep, I really suck at calling in money. I suck at saving. I spend money all the time when I shouldn't be, right? And then let's go a little deeper. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that way when you go on that binging spree of spending money, spending spree? Why do you go do that? Is it something that triggers you to go do that, right? Are you feeling down about yourself? Or are you celebrating something? But really get to that root cause and root issue of your habits and acknowledge your relationship with money. Do you love money? Do you hate money? Do you want to oh my God, I feel so guilty for having money. I don't want anyone to know that I have it. Acknowledge your relationship with money. And then going into number 2, this is my favorite one. This was a fucking game changer for me. Treat money like your lover. Think about how you treat your partner. Whether you're single in a relationship doesn't matter. Even if this is a hypothetical partner. Think about how you treat your partner and how you want them to treat you. I know we all want to be in a relationship where we love our partners and they love us, right? We want a partner that respects us, that enjoys spending time with us, that can't wait to tell us their best part of their day, that wants to spoil us and spend time with us and travel with us, right? We all want that. And I'm sure they want the same in return. They want your love. They want to feel good around you. They don't want to be put down. They want to feel loved, appreciated, respected, right? No one wants to be in a boring relationship where all you do is fight, ignore each other, spend time without each other, you're nasty to each other. Ugh, no one wants that. Like, that is zero fun. Zero fun. No. So think about money as your lover. Because money, remember, is an energy. It's an energy. I know it's this paper thing or a metal coin, that we collect and have. But mostly, we're going digital eventually. So we're not going to even have that physical thing someday soon. But this role that it has in our reality, it wants to be used. It wants to be circulated. It doesn't want to be harnessed. We don't want to harness this energy for long periods of time, especially, right? And I know if you're someone like me where your parents told you, save your money, right? That I know even their intention behind that was from a scarcity mindset. Because I know the way that they grew up, that's how it was. There wasn't a lot of money. And they thought by saving money, they would feel safer and secure, which served them in their lifetime. But it didn't serve me, because for me in this lifetime, I already felt safe. I already have a home over my head. I'm sheltered. I have clothes. I have food. I have all of those things. So in reality, having that as a driver to make money, it didn't make sense and it didn't align for me either. When you think about money as your partner, think about them as your lover and treat them exactly like you would do a partner. And I promise you, things are going to change in your life. For example, when you open up your banking bill, how many of you are fucking terrified to open the bills? Terrified to open up your banking app, right? Instead, change that perspective into being excited, even if you have to fake it for a little bit. All you have to do is just switch that mindset and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see how much money I spent this month to live the life that I'm living right now. Isn't it interesting when we think about it as far as that goes? You're living this great life, or you're living comfortably, or you're here, you're listening to this podcast. I'm sure there's some sort of security in your life right now. And money has given you that. And even though there could be some things over on the other side where you're like, oh shoot, how am I going to pay rent next month, or clothes, or get food for the table, all of that. Right now, there is a sense of somewhat comfort, right? And money brought you all of this. So it's almost that sense of gratitude, of having gratitude when you open up that bill. Instead of being nervous and scared, be like, you know what? Life is fucking okay right now. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing. Let me just open this with love. And I know it will be hard in the beginning, but be mindful of this action and things will start to change. Number 3 is the embodiment of money. And I'm sure if you've been around my world for a little bit, I speak upon embodiment, and I'm sure it's really a buzzword right now on social media. It's like embody, blah, 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 and you will become it and be it. But there is truth to that. Who do you have to become in order to be able to hold space and allow that amount of money that you desire to flow in? Because who you are today, right now, that is the energy that you exude for the amount of money that's coming in. So in order to call in more money, I'm sorry, you're going to have to evolve and grow and change. And this is one of the most hardest parts about money, because now your ego starts coming into play. And guess what your ego absolutely hates? It hates change. Your ego loves to be comfortable. It loves your life to be predictable. It doesn't like change. So no matter if the life you're living right now, you're unhappy, you're sad, you just hate it, you want to fucking change, your ego is here like, yeah, I'm fucking loving this. I love the predictable sadness of your day to day. I love the stress that you bring every single week or every single month about money because I can predict it. And I'm not here to say we got to get rid of the ego and it's terrible and it's bad. It's not. It really creates our human existence. So we need it. But at the same time, we can't let it control our lives. Because if you want anything to change in your life, you're going to have to overcome its voice. A few ways that you can start embodying yourself with being able to bring in and call in more money is very simple. I don't want you to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on new outfits to look like a bougie queen and buy all the handbags and look rich. It's not about that. It's not about that at all. I mean, it can be a little bit if that really makes you feel better. But if you don't have money to begin with, that's just stupid. No, this isn't about faking it till you make it. You can't fake it to the universe. The universe knows your energy because your energy does not lie. We all exude an energy just like money does. We exude it too. And you cannot fake it to the universe. It freaking knows exactly where you are at. So the best way to really start embodying yourself is to evolve and grow. So the easiest way to do that is start learning more. Start learning more about money. Invest in yourself. Continuously invest in yourself, in your personal and professional development. Acquire new skills. Expand your knowledge. Seek opportunities to enhance your earning potential. Now, I'm not saying, I know a lot of you here are self-employed or you're coaches and stuff like that. I'm not saying you have to go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a coach or a mastermind or anything like that. In fact, majority of my career and building my businesses, I didn't have a lot of money to spend. And not even that, I didn't understand investing in coaches and stuff like that because, of course, I had an ego and I was like, I can do it myself. I can learn it myself. But what I did do is YouTube. YouTube is free. You can literally find anything and everything that you want to learn on YouTube, or at least find a lot of information to help you grasp a better mindset about money or just evolving, learning more for your job, for your career, for your business. So much free stuff. So don't think that you have to go out and spend lots of money on this. There's definitely a way to do it free. And then when it comes time, you having money to then invest and do it in a really smart way, go do that, because that's what I did in my 20s. And then from there, I invested in my first business coach, which I did do straight on credit card. And you better believe I was paying that minimum $24 payment for years. Well, not years, but because I did end up making my money back that I spent. But it was a very, very crazy just money situation and story with all of that. But learning to invest in yourself and really embodying that woman that you want to become. Like, you are this woman that is smart, that has these skills, and you can attend different or go through different courses, attend workshops, attend meetups, read books. Oh my gosh, books. Hello. Books are amazing, right? And finding mentors who can guide you on your journey is going to be key. Now, the big one here is surround yourself with positive influences. You have to, at this point, surround yourself with people who have a positive mindset towards money and success. And if right now you're living in a household where maybe you're with your parents, or maybe you have a spouse or family members or roommates that all they do is fucking complain about money and income and how broke they are, or they're complaining about the world right now and talking about economic collapse and debt and all this negative stuff about money. Oh my gosh. First of all, my heart goes out to you because that is tough. Secondly, I want you to limit time with those people immediately. And if that means moving, if that means saying no to spending time with them for a little bit, it's time. If it's someone that you're dating, partner, honestly, I'm sorry, but it's time to break up if they don't get their shit together with you. And you can share all of these things that you're going to be doing, but also it's really hard to force someone to change if they're not ready for it. But I'm just being real. The more often you hang out with people that talk negatively about money and struggling and all of that, guess what? Your situation is not going to change because they are literally feeding that ego voice in your head. Because your ego at this point is also already saying to you, you're never going to be rich. You're never going to make that money. You're never going to go get those clients. You're never going to start that business. Or it's going to say, do it later. Do it later. Do it next month. Oh, we're too busy this month. Oh, you got too many other things to do this month. And if your mind is already telling you that, and you're now surrounding yourself with people that are talking negatively, guess what's going to happen? Nothing at all. It's already game over. So the only way to change your situation is you need to change your situation. You need to take radical responsibility. And I'm fucking begging you, because I know if you're listening to this podcast, you are a woman that is destined for more. You have a fucking gift. You need to share it with the world. And I know that part has really got nothing to do with money, but ultimately it does. Because if you are feeling shame and guilt and stuff like that around money, it's really fucking hard to be confident. Because again, you can't fake it to the universe. So you have to start taking this radical responsibility. And by surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and this doesn't even have to be in person, so many online communities. The Manuscripting Sisterhood community is a huge one. We welcome you with open arms. Meet those people, connect with those people on Instagram. I promise you, it's going to be a game changer for you. So number 4 is setting a clear money goal. So on social media, there is an abundance of people promoting that they can help you make your first 6 figures or your first million. But have you even made your first $1,000? Have you even made your first $10,000? Yes, everyone wants to make money, right? We all have these big goals, but if you're setting these huge money goals, when you haven't even made even your first $100, let's face it, let's just start with 100. If you've made $0 yet, then it can be very overwhelming and you can very quickly start doubting yourself when the money doesn't start coming in because everyone else is making it seem so easy, right? And this is why so many people fail at starting their own businesses, especially after having a corporate job or a dependable paycheck, because you need to completely reprogram your mindset. And not only that, but face your money trauma. And the best way to set your first money goal is to not only set a number that stretches you, because of course, like I said at the beginning of this episode, we're all coaches that, want you to go big or go home, but one that doesn't constrict you either. It has to be one that feels good in your body. And the reason for this is, and I don't want to use the word be realistic, because I'm not fucking realistic. I'm delusional. I want you to be delusional, but be delusional in a way that you don't feel like what I mentioned at the beginning of this episode. Like if you're starting to feel like, oh my God, it's too hard, it's too big, it's too overwhelming, like that feels like impossible. I don't want you to feel that way because remember, you are also an energy. Money is your partner that you're trying to call in. And if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, who am I to make or charge thousands of dollars for my worth or my work? Money's going to be like, hell no, I don't want that crazy girl. I am staying far away from her because if she's acting like that, she doesn't even have me. I don't want to see what happens when she does have me, okay? So I want you to set a money goal that makes you feel good. Like, this is going to be a challenge, whether it's $100, $1,000, something relative to you right now. If you haven't made a lot of money before, there's a lot of growth that needs to happen, right? Like I just said in the last step, like there's some growth and involvement that needs to happen for you to embody this new version of you that can handle that amount. So if right now you're sitting here and say, oh my gosh, you're trying to call in $100,000 and you've never even made $10,000 a month. Well, you can call in that $100,000, but it's probably going to take you a lot freaking longer than calling in your first 5K or 10K. And here's something really interesting that happens. And I teach this a lot in my manuscripting community with the Manuscripting Journal. And it goes back to vision boards. And you can apply this because it's all just energy. If you are trying to call in $100,000, and that's a really big fucking goal for you, well, so many things can happen in the mind that is going to prevent you from making it because, yes, it is so far away. If you chunk it down, say your big goal is $100,000, but hey, right now, this month, I'm focusing on my first 5K. I want you to focus on that first 5K because this is what happens. You're working each month to that 5K. Maybe you get your first client or that first job or that paycheck or however it is that you make money. That part doesn't matter. But you are 5K goal. You bring in $1,500 and you're like, oh my God, I'm almost halfway to my goal. Then you bring in another 500 and then you bring in another 500. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking halfway there. Yes, I'm totally going to be able to do this. What happens by the end of the month? You just keep working hard and you're just like, I'm so close, I've done it. Done it, month 1, 5K, boom. What energy does that carry into the next month? You feel fucking good. You're on fire. You're confident. You're like, yes, next goal. You can either do 5K again. You can bump that up a little more. Do what feels good because now you have proof that you could do it. And that's the beauty of setting a big goal, but chunking it down into these smaller goals so you accomplish them. So it gives you fuel to that fire. Because if you started your big money goal of 100K right now, and after the first few weeks, the first month, you only made 5K, you're going to be like, fuck, I have 95,000 more to go. That is so huge. Oh my God, that's going to take forever. You're now starting to doubt yourself and deflate yourself. And your ego's going to be popping up and it's going to be like, told you so. You couldn't do it. So why are we putting all this pressure around this certain large amount when really, let's take that and chunk it down and make it into attainable financial goals that, yes, stretch you, but they don't constrict you. Because the second that you start feeling unworthy, the second that you start feeling uncomfortable with that amount, it's a fine line. Because sometimes people that feel that way, you know what? They're going to surpass it anyway. They're going to go through it anyway. But there are many of you out there that get stuck in that loop and you just give up. So try something different this time. If this is you, try something different. Try a smaller goal and see how that feels in your body. Because I know with social media especially, everyone out there is posting their screenshots of the income that they've made, the sales that they've made, the clients that they've gotten into their masterminds and their courses. And they're just like, oh my God, money flows to me so easily. One, you don't know how much they spent to get all of that. Two, you don't really know how much work they had to go through on the other side of it to achieve that. And I know everyone just seems like an overnight success, but I promise you they are not. I promise you, I have not to this day have met one founder where they hit the jackpot on the first try. Not one. Not fucking one. Let's stop putting this huge money goal up on a pedestal, and let's bring it down to our level and make it our partner, make it our lover, and start working together with it, calling it in and loving it, versus getting really stuck with it. And number 5 is the biggest one of it all, which I know if you're listening to this podcast, I know you already do this, but I want to reiterate it and remind you. And that is, take action and stay committed. Like I just said, there's no such thing as an overnight success. If you don't make your first million in your first year of business, or your first 6 figures in your first year of business, this does not mean you are a failure. Those are unicorn companies in a sense. It doesn't mean anything. You just have to be truly aligned with what you are doing to make money. So if right now, I'm going back to social media because it's at the forefront of everything that we do usually. If you're seeing so many people become coaches and make so much freaking money, and you're just doing it right now because, it's going to be a really easy way to make money, I'm here to break it to you. It's not fucking easy, because it takes a lot of so many different things to build a successful online company. I've done it for over 10 years. Don't do it because other people are doing it. You have to sit down with yourself and truly figure out what it is that you want to bring to this world, what you want to create. And guess what? When you do that, the money starts flowing in. The most ease I've ever had with making money is when, one, I was excited about it. And being excited about it does not mean it's not hard or difficult, but I've been excited about it. I've enjoyed it, and I felt a calling to do it. I'll share my stories on another podcast episode about these types of situations that I've been through, listening to my intuition, trusting my gut, making financial decisions. It's absolutely insane. But you have to be aligned with the way that you make money. Because sometimes you're going to make good money doing something that you just don't like doing, or that you don't feel aligned with. You're just doing it because you're like, you know what? I got to make this paycheck. I got to make this money. This is the easiest way right now, but it's not going to live forever. It's not going to last forever. You'll experience burnout. You'll experience different financial issues that come with it. And all I believe to be true, because I've experienced it over and over and over, is that when you take action on something that has come to you, whether through a thought, idea, dream, an idea, and you're like, oh my God, this is what I call your downloads. These are your downloads from source. Whenever you get these ideas to take action on something to make money, whether it's a company, a job, follow it. Because I promise you, that is how you will start making money, because that is what you came to this planet to do. We all came here with a mission. We all have these special, I like to call them these special powers and gifts within us that we're supposed to share with the world. But many of us don't share them because, one, we don't even know we have them. We haven't worked on that part. And two, we're afraid to share them. And three, a lot of times we are just caught up with everything else that society thinks we should be doing. We should be going to school. We should be getting married. We should be getting a corporate career. We should be having babies. We should be getting married. Blah, blah, blah. And guess what that leaves room for? Absolutely nothing when it comes to what we desire to do, because we're so busy fulfilling this, I don't even know whose dream it is, but it's something that we've been told to do. And now we don't have the time or energy to listen to our own heart. And that's how people wake up with regret. That's how people regret, when they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They regret that they didn't go do the things that they wanted to actually go do. This is a long way of saying, take action on what you feel called to do and stay committed. My goodness. Just because, like I mentioned, you don't make money in your first year of business does not mean it's a failure. There's some shit that you need to learn. And as long as you are experiencing those things and you're being conscious of it, like, oh, fuck. Like, yep, I should not have invested my money there. Oh, crap. That's definitely not the way I need to build out my business. There's certain people that will come into your life and teach you things and all of that. But as long as you are living in alignment and doing it from a place of this is what I need to be doing, I promise you'll be successful. It might just take you a little longer. And I know that's really hard in a day and age of instant gratification, but I promise you, the sooner you start, the sooner you get going, the sooner you will get there too. And the one last little piece of advice, and this doesn't even cover everything to do with money mindset, but this is just the foundational steps for you to take, is that developing a money mindset takes time and consistent effort. You cannot take all of the tips that I gave you today, do it for a week and be like, I'm good. Okay, I tried it. It's over. Like 1 week challenge. Okay, go back to regular life. That's not going to work. Nothing is going to change. You have to be consistent, and that is going to take time. You have to do so much unlearning and reprogramming in order for all of this new information to stick, to create the new habits, to create the new sense of thinking, to create the new lifestyle. So please be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress along the way and stay committed to the journey of transforming your relationship with money. And by doing all this, it will inevitably increase your income and the money that will flow to you. So with that, I thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I'm so grateful to be a part of your journey. And I want to know if this podcast episode resonated with you. So take a screenshot of this episode and share it to social media with your biggest aha moment or takeaway. And don't forget to tag Money Mindset and Manicures podcast along with me, your host, Samantha Kazuch, so I can see it. And I also invite you to be a part of our podcast success. So if you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a review. Your reviews not only motivate me to make more episodes, but they also assist others in finding this show. And I hope you all benefit from the valuable insights that I share here. I love you so, so much. I'll talk to you in the next episode.